Let's talk about springtime in New York City. Hello, people of the world and YouTube fam. My name is Kevin Jackson, and welcome to this latest episode of KLMFL Makers Friendship and Love. So, hey guys, we're back with another video here, and basically today is just gonna be talking about the multiple trips that I have taken to New York City this spring. Besides that, I really don't got really nothing else this week. It's kind of been like a slow week, here in the Midwest, and you know, working on my project at work, and going to various things here, which maybe I should talk about at some point. But I feel like New York City is a little bit more exciting. I think I told y'all before that I went to New York City in March. I just went this past weekend, so let's go ahead and dive into it a little bit of the things that I did. A little Spark Notes version. So the first time I went back in March, I went with my friend. They didn't really, they never been to New York City, before, and they're not really a solo traveler, and they know me as being like the solo traveler, like the extrovert, somebody who meets people on trips and basically has a good time by themselves and can do it on a low budget. And I've always been trying to guide them and inspire them to really travel by themselves. Maybe go to the movies, but let's start off small. Go to the movies by yourself. And then maybe do other things like going to a concert by yourself, and then going to a restaurant eating by yourself. So you're working your way up to that. But they were like, "Yo, it'll just be us," you know what I'm saying? And then I invite like my New York City friends, to join us on various parts of the trip. So basically flew out there Friday evening, and then the first place that we stopped at was Ichiran. So I believe that I went to the location in Japan, but it wasn't. Maybe it was the location, maybe it wasn't, but I didn't really like it. But this one in New York City, oh my gosh, the broth was good, the noodles were great, all the add-ons were pretty good too. You know what I'm saying? I like my little mushrooms and my egg in there, and that was pretty fire. Then after that, we went to Times Square, right close by, and saw Times Square and all the billboards going on. We got the red staircase and stuff, and just taking it all in, looking at the busyness and just the amount of people that are out there. After that though, we went back to the hotel, freshened up a little bit, and then partied in the Lower East Side. Went to a few bars down there. It's pretty quick, on the train to get down there, and it's like the first place that all the young people, in the I would say like early 20s, pretty much like go to. So it was just good to let them, get a little bit of that experience. And then on Saturday now, I was meeting up with my friend at the Met. So he met us at the Met. Oh shoot, scratch that. Before that, we went to Liberty Bagels. Got some cream cheese bagel. And they put that schmear on there, you feel me? And a lot of schmear. So I really appreciate them doing that because, like at Panera, they don't be even giving you like the bagel with the cream cheese. You gotta put the cream cheese on yourself. And I hate that, man. Like, well, I'm like, I got a tip too. Like, and you're not doing this service for me by putting the cream cheese on a bagel? It really gets me frustrated. But, and then we got the Liberty Bagels. I just got the plain one. That was pretty good. Maybe next time I get like a specialty bagel, like a bacon, egg, and cheese or something like that. But I didn't get that this time, so just kept it in a hundo. Then like I said, my friend met me at the Met. We went to just basically all of it. I've been to the Met before, but this is like my first time like actually like speed running it because I wanted them to see as much as they could see. There was the nice little like Chinese garden that was there, and then taking a look through like old Japan. And then like a Revolutionary War America, because I got the rifles, like the big long rifles and pistols there, so that was pretty cool to see. So we kind of sped around that. Then we went down to Chelsea Market, and then got some good food there. I forgot the spot that we went to, but it was pretty much like another noodle spot that's pretty famous. I'll put that in text right here. And now that was pretty good noodles. Spicy too, got some good spice on it. But you can't really find anywhere to sit down in Chelsea Market. It's like freaking crazy. Like, especially us going on a Saturday, that bitch was packed. You feel me? And it was just it was crazy. So I was like scoping it out for a while, and then like finally like maybe like 20 minutes later, finally found a place to sit. Then after that, we took the Staten Island ferry, just so we can see the Statue of Liberty on on the ferry. That's about like 7-8 o'clock there. Went back to the hotel, took a quick nap and freshened up. Then we actually went to Bushwick and we went to elsewhere. I had my my friend who a friend of a friend basically got us in, got some guest buddy passes for us to come. And this night was actually like Eid, so it was like an Eid celebration. That wish went up. Shoot, I know brown people be partying, you feel me, and Arabs be partying, but like I'm like, isn't this a religious holiday? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know why we turning up here at the but anyway, that's what happened. But it was great to, experience other cultures, listen to other music and stuff like that. I had a good time turning up with the whole group too. So it was definitely a good time. And then, we had to get, a little late night snack, you feel me? So really good there. Sunday now, basically we went to 9/11 Memorial. That was about 3 hours. Didn't do the guided tour for that, but like everything was like pretty heavy. Everything was pretty heavy, and then especially hearing the phone calls of like the passengers on the plane in Pennsylvania when they were like, "Oh, I think that we're hijacked, and we're gonna go ahead and storm the cockpit, and stop the intruders, and I'm just like, wow, this is crazy stuff, and just like seeing all the images and then like hearing everything and that went on that day is just really really tough, and I was pretty young at that time, so I don't really remember it fully, but that's just basically changed like the world and changed America in this 21st century, so that was pretty crazy to really see. And then the pillars too, and just know, and then also just the main thing too, that one of the main things that I kind of took away from it is that like if like, cause so like the whole towers came down, but like if the towers came down in a way that like the retaining walls for like the retaining walls in like the underground and the basements, like in kind of like broke, then there would have been a bunch of river water that would have came through and flooded basically everything, and that would have been really crazy. So luckily those stayed. So after the 9/11 Memorial, I met up with my other homie. You know what I'm saying? So like one of my homies lives Upper East Side, one of my homies lives Upper West Side, which is kind of funny. So I met up with my Upper East Side homie. And we basically took the biked across the Brooklyn Bridge because like the walk is kind of long, and my friend that was that was basically on a trip with me. I was on a trip with them because that I let them plan it. I let them take everything away. Basically with that one, the fee was hurting, so we just basically biked it. So we biked it over to Dumbo. There was like a Brooklyn flea market going on right there, about to end at about 5, but we got there like 4:30. So we did a little bit of that. Went over to the Timeout Market, and we were looking at the food there, but I never tried 7th Street, and 7th Street was pretty much right nearby, so we went to 7th Street. That cheeseburger was fire cheeseburger. It was pretty like, pretty like small, you know what I'm saying, thin patty, but it was really good for me, really tasty. And then after that, we had a play. You're gonna see Stranger Things, the first shadow. So we basically, took the train all the way back, over to Broadway, and then went to that show, which I thought, was pretty good. The only thing, like, especially the effects and stuff like that, but the only thing is that, we were cheaping out, right? Because this whole trip cost, a little bit of money, you feel me? So, we were like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna get seats in the back. And they had like the big like Demon Slayer, not Demon Slayer, I'm dead. They had the big Mind Flayer there. And it was like a big like production, right? So we kind of got the top of the head cut off, and a few things in the play were cut off too, just because the balcony was going over, was blocking our view. So I hope those tickets were more discounted, you feel me? So because of that, but yeah, that's all what happened. And we Sunday night now, we did Poacher. So Poacher in K-Town, a little bit expensive. What was crazy is that one of the bars basically charged you like 20% if you're a party of 1 or over. What are you talking about? Anyone is gonna be 1 or over. 20% gratuity just off rip? Like, that's outrageous, bro. That's outrageous. Like, that's heresy. I kind of did not like that at all. But we still paid it because we didn't know that's what went on until we got the receipt, and I was just like, damn, that's crazy. And then I had my flight back in the morning, trying to get to work, you know what I'm saying, on time. But that was the day that the airport was closed. And if you see my previous video about, TSA and plane concerns and stuff like that, basically talks about what happened on that day, really. Then let's speed on to what happened this weekend on my trip to New York. You know what I'm saying? My girl was going to New York. So I was like, let me join you. Let me join you over there. It's, so that's what basically went on. I got on Friday night. staying with my homie in the Upper West Side. Love that homie. Shout out to him for real. Yeah. So, she flew in earlier than me, right? So, but we were all staying with my homie. So basically they had dinner, whatever, and then I met them at the place. We did a little face mask before we went to sleep, and that was pretty funny. Then we woke up in the morning and had a big long day because my girl's friend was also there too. So it was like all four of us basically, and honestly, it was a good time. It was a good time. Me and my girl spent some time, separate too. We basically went to the box office to go see a play, and this play was The Great Gatsby, the musical. So I read the book, I think it was like freshman or sophomore year of high school. So I had to brush up on it a little bit because I kind of forgot like the whole plot and like what was going on. I like that it was a musical too because I did see The Cursed Child about a week and a half ago, and like it was a cool play and whatever. I wish it was not the condensed version, but it was the condensed version, right? But like in the breaks when they're switching things, it's like they had music playing, but it just didn't really fit for me. I wish it was kind of more like a musical. I'm not gonna lie because I think seeing different musicals like Wicked and Hamilton and Hairspray and stuff is just like wow, these are great, and the gap was just not the gaps weren't really working in the play in The Cursed Child for me. But I did like the plot and everything, and the effects were great too. I think I like the effects so much, and the stage production is just out. It's just outstanding and like great for a lot of these plays. But we saw The Great Gatsby, and that was pretty cool. To definitely remember about the plot and how it's like basically like a tragic, like a tragic, what you call it, like tragedy basically. So we went to the box office to buy tickets for that because a little bit cheaper, right? No excess fees. Then we went to Angelina's. I think it's the Parisian restaurant or French restaurant to get the hot chocolate, which was honestly, yes, the best hot chocolate I've ever had. It was really velvety, very smooth, very thick. I like that. I didn't put the whipped cream in there because I don't really like whipped cream, but I stirred that up a little bit. Had a sip of it. Amazing. Honestly, I wish I bought two but it was kind of expensive. $13 for one hot chocolate? Sheesh. But it was so good. Next time I'm in New York in the winter, like I definitely gotta go ahead and get that because it was bomb. Shoot, didn't really get no food there because that place was kind of expensive. But right after that restaurant, then we went over back to the place, saw the musical. We kind of wanted to see Corbin Blue because Corbin Blue was in there. He was acting. They had a little poster on the sign on the venue sign that was like from the High School Musical star Corbin Blue. But unfortunately, he was not there. Yeah, they basically had his second. I think that's what you call it, right? The second or backup or basically was playing, and he was pretty good too. He was pretty good in the role, but I would have loved to see Corbin Blue in there because we were like Corbin Blue, and then they announced like, hey, like go ahead and scan the QR code to see who's substituting, and I'm just like, dang, Corbin Blue is not here, so it kind of sucked, but. Anyway, then we met up with my girl's friend, and we went down to Linda Street, got some pizza. It's my first time getting a pizza. I think we got the New Yorker and the Linda Street one. It's kind of like like with the prosciutto or whatever. I didn't really like that one, but the New Yorker, top tier with that hot honey drizzle on top. Amazing. Like it was great. Like I see what they were talking about. And that line was out the door. Shoot, we were freaking there to wait in line to order for I think about like 30 minutes, and then it was about another 30 minutes, about 45 minutes before we got our food, because we got a whole pie. But yo, that pizza was amazing. You know what I'm saying? I probably would not get that on the regular because I want my New York slice for $1.50, $2. You feel me? But it was, it was good. It was good. And then like all these nights where I had my last friend in the upper west side. Basically, he joined us for poacher again. So I really like it. At the end of the night, we ended these things with poacher. It's just really wholesome, really nice. Just drinking and stuff. And this time, I don't think they charged a 20% gratuity automatically for just a party of one. I think there was a gratuity, but it wasn't just like crazy amount just off rip. Oh, it's because they had like a minimum charge. You have to spend at least $100. For everybody, so about $25 per person. So I was like, you know what, that's pretty manageable. You know what I'm saying? You could come up to that quick, but That like man, that other poacher place, man, with that 20% gratuity is crazy. And then I left kind of Sunday morning. I had a little thing that I had to get to, church event, and then also a Brandon Lake concert here, So I was like, okay, let me go ahead and do that real quick. So left in the afternoon, got back to my home in the afternoon, rested a little bit, and then went to the church event and that concert. But yeah, that's basically the summary of my times in New York. I've been to, like I said, I've been to New York multiple times before. I think this was like my seventh or eighth time going to New York. So I've been really fortunate in these past, ever since 3 years ago, since my first time. I've been really fortunate to continue to go back. It is one of the greatest cities in the world. The most diverse food. You can get any culture, see anything. It's amazing. It's amazing for sure. But I hope that like next time I come back, that I get to do a little food crawl, like Caribbean food crawl. Me and my girl were thinking about it this time, but didn't really end up happening. But like a little food crawl with some Caribbean food, so some Jamaican food, some Trinidadian food, Guyanese food. That'll be lit, a little bit pricey, but that's something more or less that I kind of want to do next time. So we'll see when that pops up, and we'll let y'all know.